The 50mm prime is the cheaper, more affordable upgrade for most people going into photography, which is the f1.8, and that's only going to set you back perhaps $100 usually, maybe a little bit more. There are more expensive versions with much wider aperture, such as f1.2 or f1.4, but generally speaking, f1.8 is really fast. Most of the time, the lenses that you get, for example, 24mm or 90mm, and if it's a fast lens, you're usually going to be working with about f2.8. So it's quite a value for money for the price to be able to have a prime lens with an aperture at f1.8 that you can shoot with, but just the nature of the way lenses are built, this is usually limited to the 50mm for this particular price that you're paying for. So I'd like to talk about this little hack today, which is this 1.4 times Tele Plus Pro. It's a teleconverter. And I talked about how I bought this teleconverter initially to extend the reach of my telephoto lens, which is a Tamron 100 to 400mm, but that was a really bad idea because it cut off a lot of light from the lens, especially with such a long focal length, such as 100 and 400mm. When you compare it with a long telephoto lens, the 50mm seems to be quite short, but in practical use, 50mm gives you quite a bit of stretch. So a 24mm lens typically requires you to be quite involved in the scene. You have to get up quite close to get a good shot. A 50mm allows you to reach your subjects without necessarily getting too close. With a 1.4 times teleconverter like this 50mm lens suddenly becomes 75mm. On top of that, with an APS-C crop sensor camera, you get another times 1.5 times 1.4. So effectively, a 50mm prime lens with an f-stop at 1.8, which costs only about $100. Along with this combination, I suddenly have a 105mm prime lens. And so here are some shots that I've taken today, street photography photographs. I'm really quite happy with them. Because I live in Southeast Asia, and the thing about, maybe it's the same also in different parts of the world, wherever you're coming from or wherever you're watching this video from. But in my part of the world, people tend to be a little bit shy, they tend to be a little bit reserved. If you take out a mobile phone camera and start taking pictures everywhere, nobody really kind of minds. But the minute you take out a camera that actually looks like a camera, everybody freaks out a little bit. With this aperture, in low light, I can shoot this picture inside a mall from a distance and look at the sharpness. And I'm shooting this with a decade-old DSLR camera. And this next shot, I took it from a music shop, and I was able to be discreet about it. It's almost as if I'm using, something like a 90mm Tamron lens with this profile, right? You can see how short it is. Or I suppose a Canon 100mm lens. Look at the sharpness that I was able to achieve with this very low-priced lens coupled together with a 1.4 times converter. So a converter like this is not just useful for those long telephoto lenses they use for wildlife photography. It's also useful for you to convert your prime lenses into something else that gives you a little bit more reach. And this shot was taken from inside the car. Someone else was driving. I wasn't the one that was driving. I was able to shoot this old man riding this electrical bicycle. So a nice action shot, frozen. This is a shot from a record store. It's also a music store. You probably already have a 50mm f1.8, but if you don't, I highly recommend that you get this prime lens. And if you already have a teleconverter lying around, it's really not just for your wildlife long telephoto lenses. Try attaching this to different lenses that you have to extend the reach of your prime lenses, and I think that you'll be very happy with the results. It's not going to be as good if you attach it to a zoom lens. I get much better results using this teleconverter with short prime lenses. Okay, so once again, this is the 1.4 times Tele Plus Pro 300 by Kenko. Excellent piece of gear to include in your camera bag. All right, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one.